And I'm like, no, brain, it does. And it's like, you're trolling me, aren't you? And I'm like, I have a very weird internal dialogue. My thought processes are very expository for whatever reason.
Yeah. Do you think that Let's Playing for long enough conditions you to think expositorily?
No.
Fuck. I don't know why I said that like it was a bad thing specifically.
Yeah, that was...
Damn it, my life goal. Restructuring my brain. In a way that can never be reversed.
If anything,
I realized that our iron's backed up, so I can just make a parallel smelter and stuff, so I'm working on that.
Yeah, go for it. My,
should have done from the get-go.
I realized that, like, my way of thinking is actually, I don't have much of an internal dialogue at all. I very, very rarely think that way. Most of my thinking is actually just image-based. So, if I need to do something, instead of thinking, like, these are the steps I need to do, I will just visualize me doing those steps, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I don't actually, like, associate, like, any words or anything with it. I just associate, like, the image of myself doing it as the thought.
I think about this stuff sometimes, but I'm always like kind of unsure about like how my brain works whenever I try to think about what it is. Like, I don't really actually have an answer. I do talk to myself a lot when I'm working through ideas. I'll sometimes just podcast to myself, essentially. Like, just to finish an entire thought to myself.
Sometimes I'll start a thought that way, but then as I get deeper into it, I stop. Like, well, actually, I'll start a thought that way, and then I'll immediately, like, stop, and then just switch over to, like, visually picturing it instead. Which, actually, I think, incidentally, might be why I have a fairly hard time sometimes articulating my ideas verbally, even when Let's Playing, because I think I'm like, trying to translate, like, images into words somehow.
I know that whatever my brain is, I can't like just sit there and listen to complicated instructions for like minutes at a time, and then after minutes of exposition, then like react to the thing and be like, aha, I will execute now.
Oh, yeah. I can do
So it's
that,
like
but purely if I'm doing something engineering focused. Because at that point, you know, the task is so broken down already that, like, it's actually pretty straightforward to do it that way.
Yeah, no, like I glaze over every single time I hear someone explain a board game from scratch, for example.
Oh yeah.
I ultimately will only learn the game during my first round of playing it. And same thing goes for like I'm raiding in WoW, and I'm having a good time with that. But I also like I'm useless at incorporating much of any information by like listening to the raid leader explain the fight.
Wow.
Without me having first played the fight.
Oh, interesting.
So like I need to see what everything looks like, and then have like all the weird shit that happened that killed us and stuff, and then I have a bunch of like questions with context. Even if I don't say the questions out loud, I'm like, oh, these are all the questions I need to answer of like what the fuck happened in that part, what the fuck happened in that part, and then I can take answers and apply them to that context. But I can't just like have somebody just fucking blind explain an entire encounter to me with like its 10 mechanics.
Like I said, I can really only do that if it's like engineering work. So, like, if I'm at work and somebody presents a whole project to me, and they're like, these are all the steps, like, I can read, like, a 20, 30, 40-page engineering proposal with, like, a total breakdown of all of it, and I'm able to hold it all in my head. But if you ask me to follow, like, a cooking recipe, I'm like, I fucking know how butter works. I'll just figure it out, man.
It points to how fucking complicated brains are.
Yeah.
Like, if you took the two things we just said, people would say that I have ADHD.
I know.
Like, that's the conclusion people would have based on the two things we just said. And it's like, that's the exact opposite of our diagnoses. Or one diagnosis. I don't have any diagnoses.
I was
don't know
gonna
if I
say
should.
nothing. I was
don't
just
know.
gonna politely
Maybe.
just go, mm-hmm. But yes,
Yeah.
I guess it's true. I mean,
Because we have such bad understanding of brains in general that like
yeah,
everyone's gut reactions of what these things would mean are also wrong.
yeah. Well, I think everybody, when they learn a little bit about abnormal psych, they think it applies to everything, and it's like, no, not really. Abnormal psych is just psych that's taken so far that it becomes a problem, but like everybody is, to some degree or another, like ADHD or whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just like, does it reach a problem where, I mean, I guess to be very, very accurate with what I'm saying, everyone has the symptoms of ADHD to some degree or another. It's just, are they enough to become debilitating? And if the answer is no, then you don't have ADHD.
Yeah.
That's basically it. But people learn about these mental, like, abnormal psych stuff, and then they're like, oh, everybody has, like, this and this and this and this and
I'm a
this.
little bit OCD. It's like, oh yeah, is it
And I'm a little bit rock and roll.
crippling? Is it crippling your entire life?
Yeah. Or when people say that they're
Obsessive
bipolar, it's
compulsive
like,
disorder.
yeah, or people say they're bipolar, and it's like, part of, like, being bipolar, I think getting diagnosed with bipolar disorder is you have to have been hospitalized for it at some point. It's like, yeah, that's a pretty extreme requirement for getting diagnosed with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Fix my
Like,
I
for
have
example,
fix.
to kind of really put things into perspective for me, the steps I'm doing right now, where I was like, oh, I should go over and build like some iron miner equipment, was not like, these are the steps I need to do to execute that. It was, I looked over at the iron and then I visualized it, and then I was like, okay, we'll make that happen. But I didn't. The thing is, the way the ADHD manifests at that point is that my image is very hazy and rapidly put together. Of like, yeah, okay, there's a miner there and there's a conveyor belt. Go. Not like I'm gonna meticulously plan out like exactly where the miner is and how it's gonna be organized. It's, yeah, look, it's like, yeah, that looks good enough.
And then comes our spaghetti monster base.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's put that down
And
there.
it is already a monster again. We're gonna fix it eventually this time.
Yeah, well, I'm being productive by playing to my strengths, which is I could help organize the base, but let's not. And instead, I'll work on getting more raw materials, because that way I can put off organizing stuff for much later.
Okay.
While still being accomplishing.
Things aren't necessarily organized, but there is now twice as much smelting at the beginning, and then twice as much of the first phase of constructing, and that's making everything down the line finish up more.
Yeah. But then to
yeah,
contrast,
at some point we're gonna need like concrete foundations, and we're gonna ruin this nature hard.
baby.
We're just gonna raw dog it.
Ah, happy 2020.
I couldn't finish saying it.
We're gonna raw dog nature. Mother Nature's about to meet Daddy Nature.
Oh no, Reagan Bass animation.
Oh, enough of that. But to contrast how my brain can work with ow, getting hurt by monsters. Anyway, to contrast how my brain can handle like engineering stuff instead, I went ahead and counted the number of lines of code that I've written for the video game I've been working on off and on for this entire year. I have written 30,000 lines of code by myself on this one project, which is obscene. At work, some of my largest projects eclipse about like 15 to 18,000 lines of code. And that's with teams of like 11 to 15 people working on them over the course of a couple of years. In like 10 months, I've written 30,000 lines of code. It's insanity.
Have fun.
No, nothing about it has been fun.
You.
I mean, actually, it's been a lot of fun.
Wait. I was like, wait, then what's the point?
I don't know. I started working on it, and you know how I am when I start something. It becomes...
Yeah.
I continue working on it purely out of spite.
That's healthy.
Yes. I mean... No. Alright, so I got a little bit of iron coming over here. So we have 3 iron miners. Do you want me to... Tell you what, we're going to be tearing up so much of this stuff anyway. I'm just going to make the iron get up here, and then we can worry about like how we want to lay everything out
just
later.
Go for it. We'll fix it all later.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have like an entire cleanup session.
Yay!
Once we're actually in a position where stuff's getting done.
Yeah, where it's worth it.
Because right now, just nothing's getting built, and it's really frustrating.
No, I understand. At work, it's always about like, we'll clean it up later.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution.
Yeah.
I haven't even worked in places where that's a relevant thing, but I know it.
Temporary solutions. You know what they are? Solutions. Don't fuck with them.
Oh, god damn it.
Shit, man. I will trust a battle-hardened temporary solution that's been around for a couple years way before I would test somebody coming up with a really hot new idea. I'm like, I agree that your idea sounds clever. This other thing has been working for 5 years. Let's let it continue to work for 5 years.
Hmm? Just don't look at it. Just don't look at it directly. You want to feel bad about how bad it is.
Yeah.
It's working.
I mean,
It shouldn't work, but it's working.
the entire financial industry of the United States is probably held up entirely by Excel spreadsheets, so... You know what? If it works for them...
Made by people who are now dead.
Yeah.
Power lines, you curse me. At some point I'll just make 75 superfluous power cables just to increase the number of, like, surge bar ports I have available.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just plugging surge bars into surge bars. You're like, just fucking work, just fucking work. I need this. God, don't the, that's one of the bottlenecks, isn't it? Isn't it the, don't the fast cables, the fast tracks require, like, super bars? The hardened ones that are a pain in the ass to make?
Like smart iron?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Shit, yeah. Conveyor marks 2 require reinforced iron.
Oh yeah, they require reinforced iron.
Currently hard to make. Crap.
Yeah, I'm primarily sticking to just conveyor belt Mark 1s for at least connecting all this distance stuff, because it's not super useful yet anyway. But
yeah, but eventually that'll become the main thorough line, the main transport belt for that entire resource. So it'll have to be super big.
I suppose. I'm also just not running everything through a single, like, bus, per se. Like, I'm making a bunch of split conveyors.
Right.
That's kind of another thing that engineering has instilled in me. Is, like, when you first learn about a lot of this stuff, you think, like, oh man, there's all of these, like, pre-existing tools that are already out there and people have, like, already solved all these problems and stuff like that. And then when you get into it, you're like, yeah, but they did a terrible fucking job with it, and we have to redo it all anyway.
They're mostly pretending to solve problems, and then hoping nobody checks their work.
Yeah, and it becomes like, why should I use, like, this solution that somebody else did when it's really super bad and I can just do it myself real quick?
Fuck it, I'll just hand smelt the stuff. I just need it out of my hands. I keep getting stuck with ingots in my inventory that I want gone, but I don't want to throw them away. So I try to put them in devices that'll take them, but then those get full up. I'm like, fuck, that option's gone. All right, yeah, I increased our both of our iron mines and our copper mine all have a second smelter now. They might all be able to fit a third smelter without slowing down. But right now I'm seeing if I can make it to the big boy launcher. We should put it somewhere really scenic.
The big boy launcher?
Yeah, the space
scenic
elevator.
big boy launcher?
The scenic big boy launcher. Play it now on Xbox 360. Scenic. That
Makes it
franchise
sound
is
like
dead
you're
now,
talking
huh?
about like a parody of a Sonic, of Sonic.
Sonic. I wonder if the Seen It franchise is dead yet.
Is that like
I just remember there
SEENIT?
Seen It, like it was a movie trivia series. Of, like, video games.
Yeah, I kind of remember.
I saw
that.
them all the time when I was working at Best Buy.
I don't know. Considering movies are gone now.
Oh yeah, they probably didn't have the best year this year.
It's just one question, and it just says, which movies were finished this year?
There's something to be said about how freeing it is to make a game that's so cheap to make like that, because you can just really express ideas like the Jackbox people do, and just like go crazy with it and really balls to the wall, throw new ideas at that there. Then there's something just to be said about a company that has that option because they're making such a low effort game, and then they just make the same game every year. And that's Seen It.
Well, I mean, why make creative when can make money?
Yeah.
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 We are not
I am ready to make
really producing iron plates at a very good rate at all.
I'm ready to make a space level
because we
better.
just have one miner on. Well, here, I can fix that actually really easily.
I have a Spicelavita. Where should I put the Spicelavita?
The space elevator?
Cool. Yeah, it's so big. Can you see the silhouette on the horizon?
Yeah,
from me running around with
enormous.
this.
Can you put it on top of like the Pride Rock we got up over here?
Like on top of the rock in the middle of our base?
Yeah, let's see if it works.
Maybe. It will look really weird because it's so much bigger than it.
I know.
We'd be looking up at. Oh my god.
I won't do it.
The floor is too steep. We just have to make a concrete floor up there.
No, if we put it up there, it's gonna look like Midgar.
Yeah.
Like just
That
like
might be cool.
the rich people. Oh, that idea sounded really cool when I said it out loud, and now I want to do it.
Yeah. It also means we can redirect all of the stuff that feeds into it up into the air.
Oh,
We can literally send resources up to put it in.
Oh, that sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah. I think we just need to make concrete and put it up and build a concrete
Yeah, we
floor
just need to
up
make
there.
a bunch of foundations. Okay. Oh no, fall damage.
Putting on your foundation to match your tone. That's what you told me. If it were a match, you wouldn't need it at all.
Sorry, I don't listen to the Pixies.
No, that's an unkindness, which is by Adam from YMS, which is funny. It's a song about telling a woman about her makeup, but he's gay.
So
I was
gonna say,
that song gets kind of funny.
I was like, "Where's the funny part? Where's the funny part?" And then you dropped it, and I was like, "There we go. That's the funny part."
The context, the fact that he is gay recontextualizes the entire song. It's like, what's the goal here? I'm not sure.
All right, so how are we gonna get up to the top of this here rock? Can we make ladders or like the gel bouncy pads yet? Probably not.
We're not there yet.
Actually, hang
Let's
on.
see.
This might just work this way.
We could invent it real quick.
Hang on.
Oh, we need 50 rotors to invent bounce pads.
I think I can just make foundation. Here we go. This will probably work.
Yeah. We can make a spiral staircase all the way up. Because we do. I think we have ramps already, don't we?
Yeah.
With the foundations. Yeah, so you can just like build a spiral staircase up there.
Yeah, also I have a easier idea, which is just to jump from here and then walk up the natural foundation.
This is... Oh, is there like a slope there?
Yeah.